Okay, so yes, I was saying that you have different servo motors, right, for each axis. So all of that coordination will be done by the control unit. Okay. Anything else? Driving system feedback devices display unit. You see, here will be display unit. I believe you have seen on a machine that you'll have here. You have a display unit. Like for example, here also. Okay. So that will have some options, right? For us to operate the machine if you want to do it manually, and insertion of programs, etc. So it will have some buttons, stop button, emergency buttons, right? And it will give you alarms as well. It will pop up if at all there is something wrong, not just sound, but also it will display on the screen what is wrong. So that display unit is there. It will specify what step is being executed in the machine, right? So display unit. So those are the basic elements in a CNC machine. Okay. And some miscellaneous functions as well, not just the standard ones, some miscellaneous functions as well, like for example the tool changing. Okay. For the tool to change, if we are having a tool magazine, okay, what we call uh, tool magazine is actually a collection of tools, you can say. Okay. So different tools will be placed for the CNC machine to pick from. Each tool will have a number, so that counts as miscellaneous. One of the miscellaneous functions is that. Okay. So all of that is decided by the control unit. That is why we call it the CPU of the CAD system. I'm sorry, the CPU of the CNC machine. Okay. Which decides uh, all of this, like motion data, right? And also takes in the feedback to check whether what we had intended was what we got. Okay. The execution was done properly or not. And miscellaneous functions as well. Doubts about the different components that we have in the CNC machine and their functions? No doubts? Okay. You see, the functions of CNC, okay? The basic functions, principal functions include what? Machine tool control. As I said, that's what we were discussing, right? Machine tool control, how the tool should move, right? All of that, speeds and feeds and depth of cut, what all is to be given to the machine, okay? Inputs for the motor to start, for the motor to move, right? Coolant to be on and off. Machine tool control is what we mean by that. Okay, machine tool control. That's one function. Okay. And in process compensation also. If at all there are some what do you call uh, errors, okay, to be able to compensate. Okay, one example that I could give is you have this coming up. Okay, like for example, uh, each tool, you see, any tool, if you take a single point cutting tool, for example, okay, just as an example, this tool will have okay, as and when it is okay, when it is new, it it will have a sharp edge. Okay, and that sharp edge still has some radius, right? It even when it is new, there is some radius, but it is not much. But as and when wear and tear happens, okay, this tool is cutting work pieces, okay, different work pieces, right? To and fro motion, right, of this machine, of this tool, and it cuts the workpiece. Because of that, there is wear and tear on the tool tip, right? This becomes blunt. Okay, it may not be visible, but there is some, but after a long time it will be visible as well. But as and when there is wear and tear, there is a formation of what we call is a nose radius. I'll try to draw it with another color, maybe white color. I'll try to exaggerate that, okay? It will not be this much, but I will try to show it what happens. Okay, the tool becomes like this. Okay, instead of a sharp tip, you have a radius there. That's what you call tool nose radius. Okay, tool nose radius is what we call. So that radius will affect the component. Why? Can anyone point out? Why will it affect the component, the dimensions of the component? Why that tool radius? Okay, you see, because we are trying to, what the machine knows is that the coordinates of the tool, it will check, let's say this was the reference point. Okay, let me draw it with another color. This was the reference point. The tool tip was the reference point. Okay, for when I say the tool should come and touch the workpiece. Okay, when I say the tool should come and touch the workpiece here, the reference point is this. Okay, the tool tip, because that's where the machining starts, isn't it? That's the point of contact. So if this point goes away and you have actually this now, because of the wear and tear, you now have a blunt tool, right? So a nose radius is there. There is no sharp tip. Okay. Because of this, the tool will think that the tool is actually like this, which it was initially, right? It was that brinjal shape, what we have. But now it is of this white shape. There is a wear and tear. So it will think that the tool is actually starting from here. But because of the wear and tear, the tool is actually has some loss of material and it is actually of this shape. So this error will be there in every component. Okay, the component will have altered dimensions. Will it be more or less? For example, if you wanted this circular shaft to be let's say 50 mm, and if you are trying to not use a new tool but a blunt tool, we are trying to have a 50 mm shaft. Okay, from 60, let's say starting from 60, we want to have it after turning, final dimension should be 50 mm. But because we have a blunt tool, will we achieve 50, less than 50 or more than 50? I was not able to hear you. If you're trying to say something, I was not able to hear you. You see, because what the controller knows is that the tooltip is here, that red spot, but actually the tooltip is here. Let me draw it with maybe blue color. The tooltip is actually here. So it will have a larger size, right? Instead of 50, you may have 52 or 53, but it will be higher than 50. Right? Is that clear? What do we mean by in process compensation? What to conclude, if we are able to specify the tool offset, okay, this offset of the radius, if I am able to tell the control unit that this is the offset, I'm telling the software, I'm telling the control unit that because of the wear and tear, the tool tip is not there, it is somewhat, it has shifted. I should specify the shift of that, okay, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, whatever is there is the value. If I specify that, he should be able to calculate what should be the change in coordinates. Now the part program will change, isn't it? You see the how big this problem is, just because of this shift of the tool tip, the entire part program has to be changed, isn't it? Because that was how the tool was moving. But now because the coordinates of the tool, the reference point is not the tool tip, but is the blunt blue spot here, you will not change the part program, you will just change the tool offset. If you specify that control unit, this is the offset, the control unit will understand, okay, that reference point is not here, but it is here. Therefore, it will change those dimensions in the part program. Amazing, right? That's what we mean by in-process compensation. One of the things is this, okay? Clear? Not clear or clear? Yes, okay. So only one candidate is listening, huh? So that's one of the things about in-process compensation. It should be able to compensate if there are any errors also, okay? Then there should be some compensation features, okay, that the CNC should offer. And other thing is improved programming and operating features, right? Because we can now program, right? We can now modify that program, isn't it? If there is a change in the product, then we can modify the program. That feature is there. Improved programming and operating features. Even for the operation, that control unit, that display unit will have the operating commands, right? Diagnostics as well. Like it should be able to tell what is the condition of the tool, right? If there is any vibration, etc. Diagnostics is what is the condition of the machine, right? That's what we mean by diagnosis. So it should be able to tell what component is likely to fail, what component is not functioning properly, right? As I told you, it should give you some, it should give some sounds, right? That alarming sounds to indicate something is wrong. And where is it wrong? It should display on the display unit, it should specify the tool has not been kept properly, or whatever tool that you have specified. Let's say I wrote in the part program T02 as a tool. And if that tool is not there, it will not start the process and it will give the alarming sound that the tool you specified is not there. It should be specified, okay? All those features is what you have in CNC, okay? And here you see, I told you tape reader for initial program entry. Only for initial program entry, you have the tape reader. And after that, you can modify it. Inbuilt options are available for modifying that. But only for initial entry, you will require that tape reader. Mini computer or microcomputer, software functions, and NC part program storage. So what all it does is it stores the NC part program and the different software functions, right? To be able to execute all of that, you have to have some, as we discussed, programs written, right? So software functions and computer hardware interface and servo system. So basically the hardware interface, right? All those, what do you call, servo motors and all those lead screws, etc. Okay. Doubts? No. Okay. Okay, then it's almost 2, right? So I took the attendance. Okay, you can join the next class. Thank you.